Hey y'all, we are in Tomball, Texas today at Fire Ant Brewery, and in today's video we're going to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly of living in Tomball, Texas. We're not going to hold back. We're going to give you all the pros and cons. So, saddle up, let's ride.
So if this is your first time to the channel and you guys want to know everything there is to know about the entire Houston area or Tomball, Texas, like we're at today, then go ahead and subscribe to the channel, tap that bell for notifications. That way you guys can be the first to know about everything going on here in Houston. My name's Kyler Ferris.
I'm Clayton Jones.
And we get calls, texts, emails every single day from people just like you looking to move to the Houston area, watching our videos online, and trying to figure out where they fit in here in the Houston area. So if you're looking to move in a day, a week, a month, a year, give us a call, shoot us a text, or click on the link below. Schedule a Zoom call. You'll meet face-to-face with both of us. That way we can put a plan in place that gets you guys here and helps you make a smooth move to Houston, Texas. Like we said, we're here in Tomball, Texas today, and Tomball actually happens to be Clayton's stomping grounds. So his wife is from this area,
Yep.
And they actually relocated back to Tomball most recently from California.
Yeah, we just moved here. This is kind of where we hang out. We kind of live in between Tomball, Magnolia, and the Woodlands, and this is where we come to hang out.
Okay. Well, what is probably your favorite thing about Tomball, and how would you describe Tomball to somebody that's never been here?
Tomball has that small town Texas feel. For sure, that's kind of the defining characteristic. A really solid main street. Been here a long time. Yeah. It's an established town. And then it also has access to everything that Houston has to offer. So yeah, we love the downtown area. This is where we come on Saturdays to festivals, parades. There's a farmer's market every Saturday, which is kind of different for the area. A lot of the farmer's markets are just like every other week or first Saturday or whatever, but Tomball's farmers market is every single Saturday. It's a great little farmers market, and then there's all these other little events that happen around it.
Tell them what's going on around us right now.
Yeah, they're setting up for German Fest right now. Last weekend was the chili cook-off. The weekend before that was Go Texan, and they had a lot of Houston parade stuff going on. So there's always something going on. I know in the summers they have movie nights out here. So there's always something going on in this kind of old town Tomball area. Always new restaurants popping up. This is a new, we're at Fire Ant Brewery, and it's a new development. Cheers.
Cheers,
yeah. It's a new little shopping center that came in about 2 years ago. So there's always these new things popping up, and yeah, we just love hanging out in downtown Tomball.
I think kind of similar to our video of Conroe, similar to our video of Montgomery, Tomball is different than both of those towns, but what it does share and does have in common is it did start out as a small town, and there's so much growth going on around Houston right now that Tomball is starting to really pick up. It's starting to blow up, but you still have that historic downtown Main Street with all these cute little shops that you can walk around, and like he said, farmers markets. And so it has that small town Texas feel, but Tomball is actually really accessible to Houston now. It used to not be. It used to be kind of in no man's land, in my opinion. But you know, they've connected 249. It's actually headed all the way out to College Station now. They've created the Aggie Expressway, so it makes it a lot more accessible down into Houston. And then now with Highway 99 running around Houston as well, it puts you a lot closer to the airport. You can just hop on 2920, buzz over to the airport, so you're close to the airport here in Tomball. And then I grew up about 30 minutes from here, and when I grew up, you had to take back roads to get to Tomball. But the thing that I always liked about Tomball is that you seem to get more bang for your buck. You get really pretty kind of property out here in Tomball. It's not just a bunch of cookie cutter neighborhoods crammed into you know, the Houston area. You know, your parents' property is pretty sweet.
Yeah, Tomball has a little bit more of a mix, I would say. There's not as many master plan communities. There's places where you can get land. There's Old Town Tomball, and it's a little less manicured than like say the Woodlands. You brought up Conroe and Montgomery. It has a really similar feel to Conroe, I think, and it has like a small town feel with amenities. Montgomery is like an actual small town, a little bit further out. But yeah, it's compared to some of the surrounding areas, Cypress, Woodlands especially, it's a little less manicured. You can get unrestricted land here where you can build, and so there's pros and cons to that. A pro is like if you own land, you can build whatever. So a lot of people are looking for unrestricted land. They want a couple of acres and they want to be able to do whatever they want with it. You're not going to find that in the Woodlands.
No.
It's going to be really hard to find that in Cypress. And it is possible to find that here in Tomball. Something you want to look out for is we have flooding here in Texas. So if you're looking for acreage in Tomball, the price of that acreage can be wildly different based on if it's in a floodplain, if it's not in a floodplain, and kind of what you're looking to do with that land. But you do have the option to have that unrestricted land. A con of that is it can be, as you drive down the road, or if you're driving through a neighborhood, it can be wildly different. The house prices, the type of buildings that are around can be a little more sporadic than like a master planned community or even a more suburban area.
And I would say one of the other things that I think is a big pro about Tomball, and this is very specific, but it's a really big equestrian community. So if you're driving through Tomball, if horses are a passion of yours, I would say make Tomball probably your first stop on the Houston tour. So everywhere you drive through Tomball, because it's spread out, because there's land, you've got horse riding schools, you got horses on the side of the road. So it really makes it a pretty lush area. As far as like topography goes, I would say it's not in the piney forest, kind of like the Woodlands or even Conroe and north of Conroe. You're a little further west. It's so similar to Montgomery. It's a little more flat, but there's a little bit of rolling hills, but it's more hardwoods. You got oaks around us. You got cedars. So it really, I don't know. I really like it over here. It's not just all pine trees. It's got a good feel to it.
Yeah, there are a lot of neighborhoods that are specifically geared towards people with horses that have riding trails through them. That most of the houses have barns. So definitely check that out if you're coming to Texas and you want to get into the equestrian world. Tomball, Magnolia, definitely a place that you want to check out and look.
I would say too, it does have a little bit of a country vibe to it. You know, you can rock your boots here. Clayton can rock his Stetson hat, and you can get away with it here. It's Texas. The horses aren't tied up out front necessarily, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were.
During some of the parades, they bring the horses right downtown. But yeah, I mean, Tomball is if you're especially from out of state, Tomball has that small town feel, but everyone is not wearing a cowboy hat. Everyone is not in cowboy boots. It's still close enough to Houston that you get a lot of people who are commuting, which I would say is a pro and a con. You can commute into Houston if you work downtown, if you work in the Woodlands, even Katy and Sugar Land with that 99 loop now, you're gonna have 30 minutes to an hour commute. And Tomball has kind of a mix of lots of different kinds of people, but definitely having access to acreage means that you're going to have some cowboys roaming around.
And the price of land here is going up quickly. It's not the good old days anymore, and that's not going to be the case anywhere around Houston. Land is expensive, and I would say that land in Tomball, just because of how pretty it is, it's going to come with a price tag. And so you are going to have some areas, like he said, that aren't restricted, where maybe there's a couple eyesores, but for the most part, the prices have gone up so much here in the Tomball area that a lot of the land does look nice. It is manicured. You'll have your pockets where maybe you don't want to be, but overall, I would say it's more than on the up and up. It's some of the nicer land around the Houston area. If you go too far west past Katy, it's kind of flat. It's kind of boring. I would say you're in a sweet spot with Tomball. Montgomery might be the only other area where I would say land might be priced a little bit more and is arguably prettier, but they're pretty similar.
Yeah, you mentioned the woodlands and how that's kind of more of a pine tree area. Yeah, Tomball's got areas that have these big 100, 200, 300-year oak trees with beautiful shade. And again, those rolling hills are a lot of people are going to have ponds or put ponds on their property as a way to help with drainage. So yeah, you've got some options for some really pretty land here in Tomball.
Should we hit them with the con that's in every video?
The weather.
The con that's in every video. So it is springtime here. It's amazing out. Probably the prettiest weather we're going to get here. It's about 72 degrees. But that's not the case all year round. So if you've seen our other videos, you probably know we harp on this a little bit. But if you haven't lived in Texas and you've only visited in the spring, it can be deceiving. It does get hot here. It'll get up to 100, and it's humid here. It's different than like Arizona dry heat. It's gonna get hot. There's mosquitoes, there's bugs. All right, there, we said it. That's the con. What's another con? What would you say is the biggest con of Tomball?
Oh, the biggest con.
What's the biggest con
Well,
of being
so
here?
a feature of Tomball that is actually kind of part of their image is the railroad, which is how Tomball was established. And so a big con when it comes up is that there's a railroad track going right down the middle of town, similar to Conroe. And you know, that train whistle is blowing. And
is this going to be your con in every video?
I mean, if there's a train in town.
All right, here's the pro. Most homes aren't located on the train tracks.
Totally.
So, you know, he said there aren't a lot of master plan communities here. There is one large one that's growing right now. It's kind of positioned between the Woodlands and Tomball. It's called North Grove. Tons of awesome new construction there. We've successfully relocated clients there, found them homes that they love. Definitely recommend looking at North Grove if you want to be in that Tomball area.
North Grove is, I think, technically Magnolia and might be zoned to Magnolia, which brings me to another con. Tomball is in an area where a lot of people, what they think of as Tomball is some of the parts people think like, oh, that's Cypress, or some people think that's the
Magnolia,
Woodlands or Magnolia. I was looking at Carlton Woods. Part of Carlton Woods is zoned for the Woodlands ISD, and part of it is zoned for Tomball ISD. So there's Tomball is kind of in a weird area where what people think of as Tomball, or what is like technically Tomball or a Tomball address, can be kind of different. Another big one that is in Tomball ISD specifically is Amira is big. It's growing. Check out our vlog of Tomball. We cover some houses in there and kind of show a range. And something that they're doing in these new master plan communities is they're not just getting one price point. They're not just hitting like a really small price point. They're designing the neighborhood so that there's a big range of prices
that meets everybody's needs in Tomball. And we've harped on this in some of our other videos. There's two types of new construction communities here in the Houston area. There's new construction communities that the builder develops on their own, and those are usually smaller communities, 100, 200 homes, and they're all the same builder, and they're usually all in the same price point. And so that's one type. Those, if you're just looking for square footage, you're just looking for a new home, those are gonna be your best bang for your buck. If you're looking for the whole package, the community aspect of where you're gonna live, like you said, bringing in people at different stages of life, from retirees to young families and everything in between, and you want the pool and you want the hike and bike trails, then there's gonna be master plan communities that are built by developers, and then they sell those lots off to different builders at different price points. So just so you know, as you're looking around online at different neighborhoods, that's the difference. And so I live in a master plan community. I'm a big fan of you get what you pay for. And so I like paying for that. We've made tons of friends in our community here, and so I think that's a big pro of Tomball, is that they do offer a couple master plan communities. So if you're new to the area, highly recommend that. Obviously, if you want land, that's here for you as well.
Yeah.
And then,
there's probably, I would say, more of the builder development communities in Tomball. don't necessarily have like a neighborhood pool or hiking trails or a pond that you can fish in. But again, that
A pro
you
to
get
that.
what you pay
And
for.
a pro to
You
that
know,
is
if you want to
affordability.
use that, totally. Yeah, and I would say affordability is a big pro
Yeah.
of Tomball. There is every kind of price range available. If this is where you want to be, we can probably find you something.
Touch on that. What is every price range? Because people in California, we're on the phone with California clients a lot, New York clients, and their version of affordable is very different. Affordable here, I mean, you can get new construction, single family homes over 2,000 square feet for like right around $300,000.
Yeah, I passed a neighborhood on my drive in here that said from the mid 250s, which
Yeah.
maybe those are a little smaller.
Old signage, possibly.
Yeah,
with the
old
prices going
signage.
up.
Yeah, because prices are going up fast. But you know, a smaller 3-bedroom, 2-bath in one of those builder development communities. Also, like a fixer-upper. There are older homes in Tomball, so you could potentially get something in Old Town Tomball that needs a lot of work or is really small. There's some 2-bed, 2-baths
Yeah.
for sale, which if that fits your needs, then that's great. But yeah, there's all the way between that up to the $1 million ranches. There's a beautiful $2 million ranch on the market right now that was an old dairy farm that we highlight in our Tomball vlog. So there's everything in between. I'd say that's probably about the top. Carlton Woods has some areas that are zoned to Tomball ISD that have 4, 5,
Yeah.
$10 million
it's nice.
houses.
Call
Very
us
nice
about
neighborhood.
those.
Yeah. So again, it just to show you the range of
Yeah.
options that Tomball has.
Awesome. Any other pros that you would say is like the biggest pro of Tomball?
I think I said at the top of the video, my biggest pro is this downtown area.
Yeah.
It's got boutiques. It's not your big box stores. It's not your chain restaurants. It's mom and pop.
Yeah.
I love to go to Mel's Diner, and it's all
Mel's
the local.
is a staple. You'll probably fall asleep at the table because it's that
huge
it's just
portions,
sleepy food.
huge burgers, huge
Mashed
chicken fried
potatoes and
steaks.
gravy, chicken
So
fried
good.
steaks. Yeah.
So that's probably my favorite thing. A con, I would say, is there's not a lot of nightlife.
No.
I'm moving out of that phase of life with having I have 2 young girls, but in my younger days, we liked to go dancing. We liked to go out to bars. And some of that is opening up. I think District 249 is
And
on
I think
249.
there are like country western bars around here. So if you want to go get your dancing fix, you want a 2-step. If you don't know what that is, maybe Clayton can show you in
Yeah,
another
I'll show you,
video.
yeah.
But that's a big pro. One pro that I think super underrated, and maybe you've been to them, maybe you haven't, but Tomball has a drive-in movie theater. And you know, that's on a lot of people's bucket lists, and you don't have to go far. You know, I've got to drive 30 minutes from where I live to get to Tomball to go to the drive-in. So it's a really cool experience.
It's
There's
called
2 screens,
Showboat.
the
It's
Showboat
really-
drive-in.
It's really cool.
And so they've got swings there for the kids, and you pull up. The flicks start at sunset, and you get 2 movies for the price of 1. You pull up your vehicle, and it's a really cool, just Texas experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right out there. It's kind of in the Hockley area. Again, it's like, you know, it's the only like big drive-in movie theater that
In
I know
Houston,
of
yeah.
in the Houston area.
Or there's only a few in Texas.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
do you think that sums it up, or is there
I think
anything
that pretty
else
much
they need
sums
to
it
know?
up. Is there anything else you can think of?
No, I would just summarize Tomball as a country, rural town that's adopted a lot of new modern amenities. You've got all your.
Wait a second. We forgot the schools. We didn't say anything about the schools.
All right, let me finish this, and then you got the
All right,
schools.
all right.
So I would summarize Tomball as a country community that has brought in a lot of new development, a lot of growth as Houston's expanding and people are moving here. A lot of that development's pushing up into Tomball. People are selling their ranches. They're building new construction communities, and so it's got a little bit of everything. It still has the small town Texas charm, but you've got, you know, H-E-B grocery stores, Kroger grocery stores, Walmarts. You're not without provision here, okay?
Yeah.
You've got everything you need right here. It might not offer all the amenities and nightlife of downtown Houston, but I don't think that the buyer for Tomball is looking for that.
Yeah.
I think they're looking for space. I think they're looking for tranquility, peace, affordability, maybe a place to ride their horse, and still good proximity to Houston and the airport.
Yeah, it's a lot of families in Tomball. It was rated top 5 places by Realtor.com to raise a family in 2021.
That's a pretty impressive stat.
In the United States.
So
yeah, that's a huge state, and a lot of families are coming out here too because they have great schools. They're A+ rated. What makes a great school is different to everyone. We say this in every video, but look up niche.com, look up greatschools.org, go on some Facebook groups and ask some parents what they think of the schools.
Or just call us.
Or call us. But yeah, Tomball ISE is a great school district. For locals in the Northwest Houston area, it's the school district that I hear parents talk about most of, like, yeah, we'd really like our kid to be in that school district. I think it's a balanced school district. You have a little socio-economic diversity. It's not super high, it's not super low. It's really solid school. They just built a new football stadium for Tomball High School and Tomball Memorial, so you get that Coach Taylor Friday Night Lights feel, small town football, which is huge in Texas.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have great schools, and the schools are a big draw to people moving to Tomball for sure.
For sure. All right, well, let's wrap this up. Thank you guys for checking out our video on the pros and cons of Tomball. Go ahead and check out some of our other videos. We're doing map videos, pros and cons videos, and then full deep dive vlogs of every single suburb surrounding the entire Houston area. That way you guys can be the first to know about everything going on here. So subscribe to the channel, tap the bell for notifications, like this video, run up the likes. We need your help. We want to get this out to as many people as possible. We are here to help you. And if you are looking to move to the Houston area, schedule a Zoom call with us. If it's in a day, a month, a week, a year, whatever it is, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. We would love to help you make a smooth move to the Houston area. And cheers.
Cheers.
We'll see you guys in
Here's
the
to
next
Tomball.
video.